Says I have 49 minutes. Hey, Larry, how's it going? Haven't made a video in a while, and I have something exciting to tell you, I guess. And that is that I am auditioning for America's Got Talent on Saturday. It'll be like my 17th audition or something like that, but this time it's a little different. I now have 4 months worth of material to use, and since you're the one who pushed me into this whole comedy thing, really gave me the shove to actually go and try to do this, I thought it was only befitting that I let you pick which 90-second bits I should do. Now, I want to warn you, I haven't timed all of these out, so I'm going to try and time it with my phone here. But without you, I wouldn't be where I am writing books into a joke, what? I have word dyslexia. I'm like Yoda, like, patience you must have, I wouldn't be writing jokes into notebooks, and I wouldn't be sending myself text messages, and I wouldn't be doing all these little things that push people to be a comedian without you. So I have 8 different options here. Yeah, they're backwards. I should have wrote these backwards, but I didn't. So I'm going to do these in order. I'll just tell you what they are. And if you decide to let me know which one you like the best, great. And if not, I'll pick one. So without further ado, let's get this started because it's going to take a bit. Let me see. We're at the 2. So the first one is called, I'm trying to get onto a second mark where it actually makes sense for me, because then I can kind of gauge it. We'll start in 10 seconds. It is sports teams' names. I think sports teams have forgotten what their nickname was really supposed to be about. It's supposed to strike fear into the heart of your opponent and give you a psychological advantage and all of that. Some of these teams, they don't understand that. Like the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, who the hell is afraid of a cardinal unless you're like in the Catholic Church or you believe that it's a dead loved one watching you doing things you shouldn't be doing, right? No one's afraid of the Cardinals. If it was the Arizona Alimony, I think we got something. Like, I'm not going to go play there. You don't have to pay, you have to play. If it begins with a P, I ain't doing it. No, sir. No. Their arch rivals, of course, would be the Detroit divorce attorneys, because if you play them, they'll be Super Bowl contenders in 2 years. You have to leave half your team behind every time you play them. Don't you understand? My goodness. Like, I can't root for the Pittsburgh football team either. It sounds like something your best friend's going to do with your wife. Steal her. Like, come on. How can you root for that? That is terrible business. You can't do it. Can't do it. One of my favorites, though, my grandfather would always talk about this, is, Alabama, I think they have it right. The Crimson Tide. Oh, laddie, you better be careful. She's on the Crimson Tide. Run for the hills, you better. All right, so that was 90 seconds on that one. So I think it was 90 seconds, if my math is right. So that was 1, sports teams. Number 2 is Beyonce and rappers. Beyonce and rappers. And I don't know how this one. One of my favorite jokes, I don't know if I get to it, is I think all rappers secretly want to be farmers surrounded by female guard dogs. They're always talking about their bitches and hoes while wearing their cornrows. I think it's cute. All right, so if we start at 5:20, ready? And a friend of mine always tells me, she's like, dude, you know everybody. And I'm like, I don't know everybody. I don't know, like, Beyonce. Like, I knew when she had a last name and her child is like, I think her child's name is Destiny. Is that right? That's right. Her child's name is Destiny. Like, I know that. Like, I know that she was in that really cool spy movie, was really popular. Goldfinger. That's right. It was Goldfinger. Do I make you horny, baby? Do I? Do I make you randy? No. I know that, like, I know she's married to this guy who uses 2 letters for his name. And, you know, I think that he missed the mark on the marketing on that one, you know, because Jay-Z, right? But if he would have had like a letter from the middle of it, I screwed this up. I haven't done this one in a bit. If he used a letter from the middle of the alphabet, a letter from the end of the alphabet, if you would have put one at the beginning of the alphabet, he'd be a hit with everybody, right? Which also reminds me of, yeah, I screwed this bit up. If it was good, I can practice it, I'll clean it up, but that was about 90 seconds of Beyonce. So the bit was supposed to go, I know her husband uses 2 letters in his name, which also brings up the question, if they get divorced, which letter does he get to keep? Does he get to keep the J or the Z? Because the Z just wants you to put you to sleep, and the J, well, he's no good without Silent Bob. So which way are you going to go? Plus, I think he missed the mark in his marketing, because if he used it, since he has a letter in the middle of the alphabet, and a letter at the end of the alphabet, if he would have used one at the beginning of the alphabet, he'd have every man in America rooting for him. BJZ. Like, who does not like a BJZ, right? That was that one. All right, so bit 3 is troubles with dating and Tinder. Now, I will warn you that some of these jokes are going to come back around because I figured out how to get into the same joke from like different angles. So, dating and Tinder. Actually, I forgot how to get into this one now. Oh, man. So, I bet you're wondering. I don't know if you're actually wondering or not. Oh, man, I have to go back and watch this one. I can work on it. So I've been single for 7 years. 7 years! Which is like almost the length of 2 presidencies, which is really kind of crazy. You think about it. But that's just a little indication that maybe I need some help. So I decided to get on Tinder. Do you know that I joined Tinder 7 years ago? 7 years ago. And what I've discovered is I'm not attractive. I've never matched once on Tinder, which means that now for those of you who are married and have no idea what the heck I'm talking about, Tinder is like the Taco Bell of dating sites, right? If you want something quick and easy, you drive through Tinder. And then you hope you don't need medication afterwards, right? But that's what it is. It is. That means that there's a woman out there who's slightly hungry, maybe horny, possibly desperate, that sees my picture pop up there and go, I'm desperate, I ain't that desperate, moving right along. I'm like, really? How terrible is that? That one I haven't timed out as well, but that one will come back around at a different point. And I have that whole 5-minute joke bit, but that's the beginning of that one. This one is very inspired by you. You told me that I should write jokes about how I survived in life without being angry about it. And so I tried to do that. And so this is DID jokes. And we'll start that in 5 seconds. By the way, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm doing this to you. So I'm a little tired. That's why it's kind of, I just screwed up. So we'll do it but yeah, I'm super tired and I'm doing this right now. So for those of you who don't know, I live with a lot of different like mental things. I know mental health is really important right now. And I was just diagnosed, I know I lived with it, but officially diagnosed with all these things that are crazy, like dissociative identity disorder, borderline personality disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder. I have clinical depression. And when I was dating a doctor, I found out that doctors don't like saying all that. They have to use an acronym. So in doctor speak, what I have is DID, PTSD, BPD, CD, DVD, CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, AOL, LOL, LMAO, HBO, and Cinemax. That's what I have all that. Which actually works in your favor if you're trying to date me, because if you don't like who I am, give it 5 minutes, it'll change. Like, like, mon chéri, and good to be, love at first sight. She's a feisty one, no? Oh, you don't like the French? You want to date someone else? Okay, we got someone from, yes, I very much would like to date you because I think you being could hit the off, huh? No, you don't like him? Okay. How about someone a little older? We can do that. Oh, Merry Christmas, everybody. You don't like it? We can go beyond that even, like, date you, I would. Oh, you don't, Yoda's not, okay, he's too small. All right, how about this one then? Precious, the sweet precious. I'll date you right now. No? All right, well, we tried. That's 90 seconds of those. I have a few more parts of that, but that's what I got. Now, number 5 is called lactose, and this is my therapist's favorite joke. So I will tell you her favorite joke in 10 seconds. This is my big finish. Everyone has the big finish. This is my big finish. So I know we've been talking a lot about dating, so I thought maybe we'd finish up with this little story. This is my therapist's favorite story. She loves the story. So when I was in California, I was dating this girl, and we're walking on the beach, we're holding hands. Now, one of the things about, if you don't know about California, is it's like an unwritten rule that if you're on the beach, you take your shoes off. That's what you do. We're not Al-Qaeda. Like, you take your shoes off and you participate. So here I am. I have her hand in my hand. I have my shoes in my other hand, and I look down, and she's still wearing her shoes. And I'm like, why are you wearing your shoes? And she's like, no, it's okay. And I said, no, you should take your shoes off and enjoy the sand. And she's like, it's embarrassing. I don't want to tell you. And I said, no, listen, we've been dating a while. You can tell me anything you want. It's fine. It's fine. Just take your shoes off. She goes, I really can't. I said, okay, why? And she goes, you're going to be upset. And I said, I'm not going to be upset. It's fine. Go ahead and just tell me. And she goes, it's just that I don't have any toes on my right foot. And I said, oh, man. She goes, I knew it was going to be a problem. I said, no, it's not a problem. It's not you. It's me. It's just I'm lactose intolerant. That's all it is. That's my big finish for the evening. Oh, my goodness. This one, starting 7 seconds. I haven't fleshed it out. It's called Meeting Larry. People always ask me how I got started into comedy and all that. And I say, it's kind of a weird story. I actually got shoved into it by a presidential candidate. And they're like, shut up. And I'm like, no, it's true. And they're like, shut up. No, it's true. I did. So I was working in Des Moines, Iowa at this hotel. And this guy comes up to the bar and he sits down, and I say, oh, hey, how's it going? Here's some silverware or whatever. What brings you to town? And he goes, I'm running for president. And I said, okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Good. So then I go and I get him a beverage, and then we go through the whole rigmarole. And he's, what can I get you to dinner and all that. And so we're talking while his food's being cooked. And I said, no, okay, seriously, what brings you to Des Moines? And he goes, I'm running for president. And I said, okay, you're sticking to it. That's good, man. I'm really proud. Yeah, go get him. We need more presidential people. And his food is about to arrive when this lady walks up and says, the people will be here to get you at the parade at 9:00 in the morning. And I was like, parade? What parade? The 4th of July parade? He's running for president. I said, what? No, he's not. Man, there could not have been more egg on my face if a whole bunch of chickens had been firing at him from their behind. Like, they just, I was so embarrassed. You got to be kidding me. So that's how I made a fool of myself in front of a presidential candidate. It's true. All right, so this one I titled Getting Older. And this is actually like a 9-minute bit, so I have to try and trim it down to 90 seconds. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I've hit that age officially where things are starting to kind of let me know Father Time's catching up with me, right? Like the other day, you ever hurt yourself like just doing things you shouldn't do? Right? Like I was out shoveling snow and my back, I actually like threw my back out, and then the next one I put it back into place and then threw it out and threw it back in. It was like, what in the French toast is this all about? And like I've injured myself sleeping. Like this should be almost impossible. You should never hurt yourself sleeping, but I did it. I was asleep, went to bed, felt fine, woke up, had thrown out my shoulder. I could not move my shoulder. I was like, how did I had to go and have the doctor look at it. Like my shoulder was out of place. Sleeping. How is that even possible? I can pull these muscles right here underneath like my rib cage. I can pull them 7 different directions in 7 different ways. If I bend down to touch my toes, pulled. If I do one of these motions too quick, I yank him. If I have to reach around to like wipe my butt, pulled. No one warns you about these things, like how your feet just give out on you. All right, this one I haven't done very often. I have it on video though, and it did pretty good. This is the one that I'm excited for though. Again, it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I haven't really practiced this. I haven't been on stage in a long time, and I have to tell you that it's not that I don't want to be. I had the chance the other night and I got scared because I haven't been on stage in so long. I've lost a lot of my confidence. But all the places around me closed for comedy. And I host a show. I do host a charity-based show every Monday night, but we haven't had anyone show up. So it's been kind of hard. So, and then I did this, I was in a play recently, which chewed up a lot of my time, called Die Hard is a Christmas Movie, the musical, in which I played a coke fiend of all things, because I've never touched drugs a day in my life, even though I can, hey man, I'm really happy to be here and all that, man, like, if the sun was ever come back around, wouldn't it be called the daughter? Like, that was dumb, but yeah, I write jokes all the time. Like, one of the ones I just wrote yesterday or 2 days ago, I was talking to a friend of mine and she's a female, and we were talking about she's like, why are men so fascinated by breasts? And I said, I don't really know, but we are. And I said, it's really weird because their main function is to feed babies, which is why men like to suck on them. And it's just like, oh my God, what in the world? And we both had a great laugh over it. It was a funny moment. So, so this last one's going to incorporate some of the Tinder jokes back in, but it's called I'm Ugly and Fat. And these are just signs that maybe you should start cleaning up a little bit. I need to clean it up real bad. Driving 4 hours every day for 6 months, working at the hotel, put on a little weight. I did put on a little weight. So ugly and fat. If I can figure out how to get back into it. I think there's some small signs that maybe you're not as attractive as you once were. There's just little signs. Like the other day, I was walking through the park and I was just having a good day, and I saw this bald eagle flying overhead, and I was like, "Hey, bald eagle, how's it going?" And he looked down and saw me for a second, and then just dropped dead. It was poof, right in the ground. I was like, "Oh, what in the world?" And because it was bald eagle, some guy comes by and he's like, "Oh, why do you hate America? You killed that eagle." I was like, I don't hate America. He's like, "When did you join Al Qaeda?" And I was like, "Oh man." No, and on Halloween, this is true, Halloween, these kids came to the door and I opened the door. They ran away. I wasn't wearing a mask. They were running around terrified, screaming, crying to their mom. I was like, no, what happened? I went to send a sexy photo to someone one time. This is true. I went to send, and I was holding it up, and I went to take the picture. My phone cracked, but cracked right in half, but only on the bottom part. So you know what happened there? Like, God's saying don't be doing that. The last girl, I was flirting with a girl once, and we made eye contact. She turned to stone. Like, what? How does this keep happening? Oh man, it was just. I mean, I wear like Goodyear blimps getting ready to retire. Do you know that? They called me. I'm replacing it. It's true. It's true. I'm replacing the Goodyear blimp next year. There's going to be weird having some guy walking on my stomach, but to watch the Super Bowl from high above is going to be great. I think it's going to be a good time. So I'm pretty excited about that. So there you go. Bad renditions of what I've been working on. Yeah. Anyway, I thought maybe you would enjoy that. And maybe you think that all these are crap and I shouldn't try. Then you can also send me like, hey, maybe this isn't your year. Maybe try again next year. I'll still go for it. But, you know, I have a few things in my back sleeve. So, but I wanted to give you the chance to give your 2 cents on it. It wasn't my best effort tonight. I'm sorry. But you can also go back, like I've sent you all those videos and you have links to all that. If you find something over there, if you decide to look back through that, if you have time. I know you're a busy man. But, yeah, whatever you... I just want to thank you, though, because without you, none of this would happen. Yeah. It was really crazy actually, I have the Antonio Banderas dating advice. We should do that. I'll do that in a second. But it was crazy. Like, Craig Ferguson is one of my favorite comedians of all time. And I respect him because he did this thing where he stood up for Britney Spears on his television. By the way, my dream job was to host a charity-based late-night talk show. Like, if I could do anything, that's what I want to do. And so I really latched on to him during this whole thing because he was talking about how all these comedians are making fun of Britney Spears. And he's like, no, she isn't made fun of. She needs help. People need to reach out to her and check on her and get her right. And then he talked about how he was going to commit suicide because of his drinking problems and all of that. And I actually struggle with that too. I've almost committed to. I've attempted it twice. There've been a lot of times I've been very, very close to doing it again. My cats, because I have 6 cats, they saved my life last February. It's in a really dark place. Life has not always been kind. So it just resonated with me. So it was interesting because you made me promise that I would be on stage in 60 days. And my last day to fulfill my obligation to you was the Thursday after the Craig Ferguson concert. And I got to meet Craig Ferguson that night. And he was very nice, very nice. But it was just kind of like weird how like I had 4 days left and I go to this concert and it just so happened I'm sitting next to Tom Garland, who used to be a Las Vegas comic. And he's like, yeah, I host an open mic. You should come and do it. I think you're funny. And he actually told me that there was one night I got in late and I said, hey, I'm sorry. Is there still time to sign up? And he goes, yeah, because you're funny. And I was like, really? I don't know if I'm funny, but I appreciate it. I did 12 and a half minutes on body shaming. And that was a fun bit because I'm pretty sure that like people are like, men don't get body shamed. And I'm like, yeah, they do in weird ways. Like, is there any reason in the world that during the middle of a Marvel superhero movie that these guys are taking their shirts off and showing their rock hard abs to me? Like, I'm like, cover your eyes. You can't do that. There was one night, the reason I hate Triple H. There was one night, my girlfriend at the time, I used to be an avid professional wrestling fan. and she took me into the show in Cedar Rapids. And the main event that night was Big Show versus Randy Orton versus Triple H, and Randy Orton was the champion, so he would come out last. And so Big Show came out, and he's just this massive, massive human being, just huge. And Triple H comes out, and he does this thing where apparently he really hates water, so he puts it in his mouth, and he throws the water bottle away, and then he goes. Because I think he wanted to be a whale at some point in time in his life. So he's like, and then he goes, and all this water just shoots everywhere. And then he stands in the corner and he flexes really big. And I'm sitting here just kind of going, all right, because it's right in our line sight. I'm like, really? And then next to me I hear, oh my God. And I look over at her and she's like, what? It's just, I mean, come on. Wow. Maybe you should be with him then. And she's like, I would be, don't worry. I slept on the couch for 3 days. And I was like, I'm so mad at you. All right. Antonio Banderas. Antonio Banderas is so smooth and so slick that he could convince a banana to peel itself. Like, I mean, that's serious. This guy could be talking about anything and it would make it sound so good. He's like, I cannot believe how beautiful you are in front of me. I think you are the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And it hurts me. It hurts me that we could not be together right now. And all I wanted from you was to just touch you, just briefly. I'm afraid, though, because touching you would drive me wild. Too wild. I can't. I shouldn't. And as he turns away, like the banana starts adjusting itself, right? Or if it was me, I'd be like, you're really pretty and such. Want to peel my banana? Selma Hayek, I mean, I don't think her last name is Hayek. I think it's Levi's because she's got some really good genes. Like, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, again, I know it's 27 minutes long. I'm sorry. I really do thank you. And I'm really appreciative of meeting you and that you've been open to me and allow me to email you and reach out to you. I can't tell you what that means to me. Thank you so much. And I promise that I will get enough sleep before the audition that I'm prepared and I will have time to do it and get really prepared. So, thanks again.